And Alex Robinson, the head basketball coach for the Bremen Lady Lions, joins me here in our pregame. Man, let's just reflect on your season a little bit. I mean, I know you had a special group coming in this year, but I mean, you're literally a play or two away from unbeaten. I mean, that is really special.
Yeah, I think it just speaks to the consistency of our players. It is tough when you go out night in and night out when, you're pretty much expected to win, or at least a 50-50 in every single game that you play. And, I think our players have really owned that and they're just really competitive. And it's such an experienced group that, including this season, has really seen it all at this point. So, there's no situations they're going to be in that they haven't been in together before. And I think that really helped us through the whole season.
I got to say, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but several of those girls were with you on that great run you had a couple of years ago, and got that experience. I mean, it seems like that's just carried over from year to year.
Yeah, that really was a magical run a couple of years ago. And it's something that we can definitely look back to and say, remember how this went, or remember, the way that we practiced the week going into this or whatever else. But, that it's definitely something that while they can look back on, I think everyone understands that every year is a completely different experience. And, even though you might have mostly the same roster, it's always a different team that's been through different things together. And, it's great to look back on that, and we definitely gained some good experience from that. But, I think this group is also really itching to make this, its own unique experience separate from what they've done in the past.
I got to be honest with you, having talked to a couple of your girls in the past couple of weeks, I get the feeling like season's over now. Now we got another objective. They are not, they're focused on something at the next level now.
Yeah. And, throughout the season, we obviously want to take it one game at a time and not be looking too far ahead. But, we do have some pretty big goals, and, a lot of our goals are either have already happened or happened at the end of the season. So, they've definitely, I think, had one eye on this tournament, potential tournament run or whatever you want to call it for the whole season. And now that it's here, it's time to put up
Yeah.
or shut up. And, it's win or go home. I could give all the cliches, but it just means a little bit more this time of year.
You talked a little bit earlier how every team is different, even if they've had those experiences together. And I think of team chemistry as one thing that changes when personalities go out, personalities come in. But having watched you guys play, I once again I don't want to put words in your mouth, but they seem to really enjoy playing with each other. They seem to be on the same page. It seems to be one of those unique teams that they all just know what the goal is, and all they want is to get to that goal.
Yeah, I mean, you really nailed it. I think, going back to a couple of years ago when our seniors were sophomores, I think, the second half of that season, they really kind of got together, and it's almost like maybe not a formal thing, but just decided that, everyone's going to do whatever it takes to make this team as good as we can possibly be. And I think that's really stuck. And, going back to last year and of course this year, it's just kind of the tone has been set that, we're going to go out and we're going to play hard. We're going to play together, and everyone's going to play, the role that they do best for the team, the best way they can possibly play it. And, especially when we get to the tournament, that's really what it's all about, is, learning and growing throughout the season. But, at this point, it's just every single person has to put any ego aside or anything. We really don't have any problems with that anyways, but,
Right.
and really just doing whatever they can to help the team win.
Well, and you mentioned effort, and you mentioned putting ego aside, and I'm looking at a team that is giving up less than 30 points a game on defense. I mean, I I don't know how you. I gotta feel like you're happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, we have a game by game goal to give up less than 40 points, and we've done it for the most part this year. Definitely more times than not. And and we just have players that are committed to the defensive side of the ball and always have been. And I feel like, this year maybe more so than ever, we have really strong defenders on the perimeter and also really strong rim protection inside. So, there's really, unless we have a few breakdowns or something like that, there's really no weak spots in our defense, whether we're in man to man, whether we're in zone or picking up full court. I think, just the effort is there, the focus is there, and I think this year we've also got the personnel to be a really stingy defense.
They say defense wins championships. Does that give you guys confidence knowing that you've got that every night?
Oh, absolutely. Defense always shows up if you're committed to it and focused with effort and all of that. Whereas offense, that can come and go. You're going to have off shooting nights and all that, but defense, that travels, and that really helps you in the tournament when you get in some of those games with the big crowds or tense moments. If you can really rely on your defense, a lot of times the more energy we're showing on defense, the more we're communicating, the more our shots do fall. It kind of is a good way to get us focused, is really locking in on that end, and then the offense usually takes care of itself.
You mentioned tense moments, and it wasn't a in quotes tense moment, but having seen you guys play against LaVille, I felt like LaVille had a really good game plan and executed it really well. But watching your girls react to the success they were having with, there was, judging from body language, they were never really worried. I mean, there was this quiet calm amongst them, like, just give us a few minutes and we'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's just a classic, we've been here before. And when you can say that to your team, that you've been in this situation multiple times before and found a way, that's probably the best way to build confidence. And, they really believe in themselves. And like I said a little bit ago, they've been through everything together. They've been down, double digits in the first quarter and came back or chipped away, or, we've had games where maybe the other team has longer possessions and then we're not the most efficient, but we still have to find a way. And I think, it really just goes back to the experience that this group has had and how many big games they've played in together. Not just throughout the regular season, but, bi-county championship games, big postseason games. The experience of this group, I really think gives it just so much confidence.
Talk about how you feel about where you're at. I mean, maybe quickly, a couple of things you feel you gotta get better at, a couple of things you really feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously sharing the ball offensively has been a big strength for us all year. Defensively, just, we're at the point now where we're really focusing on each opponent that we're going to play. And, I think throughout the season, we've played just enough of different defenses and things like that, we've got a lot of tools in the tool belt that we can go to if we need to. So I think the fact that we're such a dynamic team really helps us. As far as, what to work on, I think offensively, not settling, making sure that we're always attacking the paint first when we can, because we've got some really good shooters, but, shooting's not always going to be there. So, making sure that we're always having great possessions on the offensive end and trying to attack the inside first, and then the ball can work its way out, and that's great. But, that would really be it. I think we're in a good place right now heading into the tournament.
And that is Alex Robinson, head coach at Bremen. Greg Miller, head coach at Plymouth, joins us in this segment of the Saturday show. And it was a tough one last night, but as you told me off the air, that Goshen team is a really, really good basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since Goshen, from what people have told me, has been really good at basketball, and the team that they have is very impressive. They're senior heavy. They've played together and done the same thing for so many years. They've got a really good future college basketball player. A couple schools were in to watch him last night. He performed well. So, I mean, there were some good moments for us, just not enough good moments against a really good team.
That's the thing about Goshen over the years. They've had good players. It just never seemed like it ever clicked for them. And, I think it sounds like they finally got some things together.
Yeah, I mean, they were a team that was, won 14 games last year, and they were all juniors, and all those guys are back. And so they're planning on making a run this year as best they can. They've got a tough sectional as well, but they're a good team.
Talk about your team. I mean, let's start with the things you liked. I'm sure you did some things that were positive last night that you can build on.
Yeah, I mean, one of our main keys was, win the paint touches, which we did not. We did not win the paint touches, but specifically in the first half, we had 8 possessions where we did get a paint touch, and we scored 6 of those. And so, that just reiterates what we're trying to do and where we want to get the basketball. And so once we got the basketball in the paint, we were able to make plays and score out of it. It's just we got to be able to do that more consistently.
How about on the other side? What were the things that are going to be coaching points coming up here in the coming week?
I mean, they got wherever they wanted last night, which was very frustrating because, typically we'll battle and we'll fight. And I felt like we kind of let them, walk around and dictate where they wanted to go. And so, I mean, that's something we're going to get after today.
I was going to say, I told you I was talking to my son when he got home after the game last night.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing he talked about was getting out on shooters. He felt like guys, even though they knew, were not getting out quick enough on shooters.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, they put several guys out there who can shoot basketball.
Exactly.
And so, we were in. Once again, that'll come down to it was off of dribble penetration, and so we were having to help. And the moment we would help their veteran team, and they would kick it, and they had standstills. And so, I mean, once again, being able to stay in front of the ball consistently is something where we've got to get better here down the stretch.
And you mentioned paint touches, and it's amazing to me. All the coaches I talk to, that's a point of emphasis with every one of them. It seems like if you can get the ball in there, you're going to score.
Yeah, I mean, ball swings and paint touches are the best things to increase offensive efficiency. I mean, that's what it is. And when the ball gets in the paint, there's going to be more assists, more fouls, and better looks offensively. And so those are the 3 things that when you get the ball in the paint, that's what you're going to get. And so being able to get there and play off of 2 and move it to where you need to move it, like that's what a veteran team is going to do.
I guess that's starting to become more evident to me. We started covering our Ancilla games now, and literally everybody who touches the ball, they're going to the rim. Now, they may not be thinking about scoring, but every time they touch it, there's a drive and a look for somebody, or they just continue.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so, it's something that is, the game of basketball has changed that way. I mean, it's a little bit more dribble drive at times, and even off of a motion offense where guys come off curls and down screens, like you're trying to get a piece of that paint to collapse the defense.
Talk a little bit about what you got coming up. I mean, Career Academy, that's tomorrow night, right? Or actually, Saturday, when we play this, it'll be tonight by the time this comes on the air. But talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, it's not your typical Career Academy team. They're a solid team. They got a couple guys who are pretty good players. They're going to press and trap and make it ugly. And offensively, they're going to play a lot of one-on-one basketball and getting downhill. So, it's a good test for us, because that's what we're trying to reiterate today, and that's what we let happen the other night. So, just being able to stay in front of the ball.
Afternoon game too, and that kind of gets you off your schedule. I know it's because of the girls' tournament now. They're the adjustments in the schedule. Can you believe they used to play? Your game last night would have been Warsaw in years past. It's only been the last few years they changed it to Goshen, and that Thursday night game and then another Saturday afternoon. I mean, this becomes a weird kind of back to back.
Yeah, well, and then we followed up on Tuesday as well. So we got a Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday. So I mean, it's a weird point of the schedule right now, but I mean, you got to show up and play the game. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be a weird afternoon game. Probably not going to be a ton of energy in the gym, but could be a little bit of a dead gym, especially if there's some more weather coming in. So for us, it's being able to bring our own energy and be infectious and contagious that way.
Honestly, that's what it's about every night, though. I mean, I admit you get a lot. If there's a nice crowd there, you get a lot from that crowd. I don't think the crowd even understands how much a player gets out of that enthusiasm. But at the same time, you still got to have that fire in yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When I was in college basketball, you recruit guys who are intrinsically motivated, who have that inside and have that nasty and that want to. And so, being able to have that intrinsic motivation in a game like tomorrow is going to be huge.
Talk about some of your guys. I mean, I'm sure you got guys that are stepping up here at times and that, you've seen getting better every night, because that's honestly what every coach says to me. I mean, our goal is to be better tonight than we were last night. So, I mean, you got some guys like that, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Caleb Ellery and Nathan Jerome, our 2 sophomores, are playing a lot of minutes for us, and they're playing well. They're moving up to the top of the scouting report, so things get a little bit more difficult on those young guys. But, they've followed through and they're playing big games for us. Parker Bagley had a big game for us, and the most points he had in a year. He got that going last night, so that was good to see. And then Kalen Ellery, we got in foul trouble, but one of his more efficient games for us. I think I don't even know if he missed a shot last night. He just wasn't on the court a ton for us because of
Yeah.
foul trouble. So and then as always, Parker Wolf is he's just tough. He's nasty. He does the small things really well, and we're going to need him to do that tomorrow.
Talk a little bit about some of your younger guys too. I mean, Tyrone has played a big part, but you got some guys, haven't seen your JV play. I feel like McCoy Cants. It seems to me like every field he's on, he's one of the best guys playing. I'm sure he's
Yeah,
going to help you out, and you got a couple of guys like that on your JV team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about that freshman class who's pretty good with Gantz, Goebel, and Grady Scott. And those guys are they're good basketball players, but they are great competitors. I mean, they hate to lose, and that's what makes them so hard to beat in JV games right now. And then guys like Clint Verhecke's the same way, sophomore, Aiden Macias, Christian Cruz Mahler. I mean, those guys are playing really well at the JV level, and it's probably just a matter of time before you start seeing them get a little bit of varsity minutes here.
I was going to say that usually is the case. Once you get out of that conference schedule, then you can start mixing some of those guys in, and you've already started doing that a little bit with some of them already.
Yeah, we have. And one guy I forgot to mention was Kaz Hunt. Kaz Hunt's playing 2 quarters for varsity now, and he was a big athletic kid in his first year playing basketball. So, he has some good moments. He has some moments where the game's a little fast for him, but I mean, he is so coachable. He's very athletic. He's tough, and his minutes are just going to continue to increase.
We talked a little bit about your week coming up. I mean, it starts the Career Academy tonight. Rochester comes up on Tuesday as the opponent. Then the game.
Yep.
On the 13th.
Absolutely.
But, Knox, I've seen them play. They are really strong and physical. Maconaquah usually is. I've seen LaVille play too. I mean, those are some really tough non-conference games.
Yeah, especially down the stretch. It's not any tougher than what we finished with last year. I'll tell you that. We had Penn, Warsaw, St. Joe, and Maconaquah to finish. We had four 20-win teams almost. Penn didn't win 20 games, but that was a really, really brutal schedule down the stretch. So not as tough as last year, but yeah, still, really competitive for our guys to finish things out.
Well, man, I want to thank you for taking the time. As always, get that win today, and we will see you down the road here.
That sounds good. Thanks, Rusty.
Greg Miller, head basketball coach at Plymouth, and we'll be right back.
Perfect.
And Brendan Lankowski, the head cheer coach at Plymouth, joins me here in this segment of the Coaches Show. Thanks for taking the time, and congratulations for a great season so far.
Thank you so much. Yes, we've had an amazing season. I'm so excited.
Let's talk about the trip itself. I mean, we should just tell folks you're in the Nationals. How did it turn out? How did you guys do?
Yeah, so we went down to the UCA NHSCC Cheer Nationals last weekend. We ended up 29th in the nation. The girls did absolutely amazing. They did everything that I could have asked of them and beyond. Like, one thing that I told the girls, like, before they stepped on the mat, and like as we've been prepping the last month in preparation for nationals, I just told them, like, I cannot be upset as long as you go up there and go down and do 110%, show them exactly who Plymouth is. Like, this may be our first year competing, but like, we have something to prove, and we are good. Like, I want you guys to step on that mat, do everything that we've been teaching you and working towards all year, and they did exactly that. And so I am so proud of them. We're 29th in the nation, and I have no words, because like, I honestly, like, as soon as they stepped on the mat, like, that sense of pride is like, and that overjoy and like strong emotions, like, you just see them and they're beaming with excitement, and they just are so happy to be there. And like, it was like, this is why I'm coaching right here. That feeling that they're having right now, like, this is why. So yeah,
it had to be kind of intimidating. I mean, you have people from all over the nation, and it's a different setting. It can't be like being at a football game or something like that. I mean, what was that like?
Absolutely. It is so intimidating. Um being a coach at this level now, and like I've spoken with several other program coaches, and like my high school from back home in Ohio, like they take programs every couple years down to nationals. And so like I was really like trying to prepare them through my conversations like with other coaches, like what the feel is going to look like. So like I told the girls, I'm like, okay, when you get out there, it's not going to look like it normally does. You're not going to see hundreds of people in the stands. Like you're going to have maybe 15 people in front of you, and you have to be able to turn it on and be able to cheer in front of them and have just as much excitement, if not more, in front of those 15 people than you normally would in front of like 100 people at a football game or a basketball game or at a normal competition that we would go to here. Like we had some of our families and friends that like came down to support the girls, but like vast majority of it, vast majority of the girls, they didn't have anyone there. So like luckily we practiced, like, and I was like, okay, if you can practice and you can cheer and do all this in front of a wall, then like you'll be fine. So like
Yeah.
that's honestly like I prepared them that way. I was like, okay, like you have to turn it on, and if you can have that much energy staring at this wall in front of you, then like you will be fine. And so like I really try to prepare them for that. The bright lights, I mean, it's just like a football game. They try to emulate that like atmospheres, because like the field, the what we compete on is like a green mat, and they try to make it look like a football field. And then just because it's a game day routine that we did specifically, and so like they try to make it fun like that. But it's honestly, there's nothing that I could have done more to prepare them. They just knew exactly what was expected and what I asked of them, and they showed up. So like I could not have asked for a better ending to the season.
Now, you guys competed with other schools of your size too, right? There's like divisions,
Correct. Correct.
um, and there's also it's based on what routines that you do as well, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so what did you guys do? What was your niche
Mhm.
there?
Yeah, so our division was large varsity non-tumbling game day. So I guess specifically to put it in layman's terms, we had 20 girls on the mat. So it kind of depends. So 19 and lower, 19 to 16 student girls on the mat would be medium, and then 5 to 15 would be small, just to kind of give
Okay,
you an idea. So
yeah,
like we had 20 girls on the mat. So like and it goes 20 to 26 for large varsity, and we had 20. So we had just the right amount of girls to be on that division. And we were the only team in our division that's never competed and that has never gone to nationals
uh,
before. So we're the only ones in our division. So like I also try to prepare the girls in that sense of it, just because like they've never done it, but all the other schools we were going up against have been at this level before. So I wanted them to have that, like, okay, it's okay if that they've all been here, but we know that we're Plymouth and we know what we can do and what they can succeed in. And so with that large varsity non-tumbling, it's a huge division. There was 37 in our division. We ended up 29th. So we didn't make it out of that first round because they only take the top 18 to the next round. But like we hit 0, which means like we had no falls in our stunts. We had no deductions in any of our skills. So it just, at that point, it's just subjective of what the judges like and don't like. So like what we did and what we put out on the mat was like the cleanest routine and the tightest and the most energetic I have seen from them all season. So,
let's talk about the judging a little bit. I mean, is it a little bit like
yeah.
gymnastics? I mean, do they give you criteria, things you have to do, or things like that?
Yes. So, well, yes and no. It's like some. categories there it's like out of 5, while others are out of 10. So it just kind of depends on what that looks like. So the biggest one is execution, and that's going to be out of 10 points. So with the 10 points for execution, they're looking at specifically for this one area, band chant and then fight song, because those are our 2 music areas. But then
Right.
we also have a cheer and what's called a situational, which is like a chant. So when we do the offense defense stuff.
Right.
So those 2 areas, so there's 2 different judges in judging panels for both those 2 different areas. So there's music versus like cheer and chant. So they give like, okay, this is kind of what we would look for in these areas. And so if they give us a situational, they'll say like Rockies need to score on this next drive, or they need to put a stop for the win, or whatever that looks like. And that is like our cue if we need to call out an offense or a defense chant in that moment. And we have like 10 seconds to call it out and get the crowd, I say, engaged and like put it and get that going. And right there, like you either do it or you don't. If you don't do it, then you don't make it to the next round. Obviously, we got it right. And we did it. They did it flawlessly. We practiced that for a while, a lot. But they, yeah, so it's pretty similar to gymnastics in the sense of like there's a scale. You either do this skills or you don't, and there's a rating scale of 0 to 5 or a 0 to 10 in our cheerleading aspect of it, and it's up to the judges. So, and we maxed out in a few of our areas. There's a few others that like the judges just didn't necessarily like what we put on, as far as like some of the different areas. But we didn't do bad in the areas. Like we didn't do it, we obviously made it down there. So they did really, really well in those areas. So
Let's talk about your girls a little bit. I mean, I give them some individual shout out.
mhm.
Tell us about them.
Absolutely. So I have 7 amazing seniors that agreed to compete with us this year and have really put in so much work and dedication to the program. This group of seniors is the group that I started with at the junior high, coaching them. So there's such an amazing group. They're very special to me since I've been coaching them since 7th grade. So like we're on year 6 with them, and like they just know what I expect and what I need from them, and they just do it. And like those seniors are phenomenal. They're amazing. It's going to be really, really hard to essentially replace them next year. I don't know what we're going to do, just because they bring so much to the table, and they do such an amazing job, and they're strong leaders. One of our girls is committed to now cheer at Bethel University.
Cool.
And then a few of our other girls, like they're going to be going and doing amazing things over at like Purdue University. They're not cheering, but they like no matter what they do, cheerleading like has taught them, and the different things like leadership skills in all of the different areas. Like no matter what they do in life, they're going to be successful, and I'm so proud of them and everything that they do. And like we have 3 strong juniors that are also on our competition team. So like the fact that we started this year, these juniors have seen like, okay, this is what the expectation is, and they're already talking about next year. They're like,
Right.
okay, what do we need to do? How do we get there? Okay, we're losing 7. How do we start making those skills up now, and things like that. So like, and then the rest of our squad, we're underclassmen. So we're excited.
Yeah, you've got a lot
So.
of folks coming back.
Yep. So we're losing 7, but then we'll have 14 girls that are hopefully coming back with us next year, and then we'll see what this incoming freshman group looks like.
I mean,
So.
I got to feel like you must feel that this is just the start. But I mean, what's your vision as you go down the road for the program?
Yeah. The fact that this all happened in year 1,
Yeah.
I was like all year like, okay, well, we qualified for state. That's huge. And then we got 5th in the state for our game day routine. I was like, wow, we've got top 5 and beat out some amazing programs in the state. And then in our timeout division, we were state runner-ups. And then I was like, okay, like, wow, we can do this. And then we qualified for nationals. I was like, all right, here we go. And like, let's adapt. Let's figure out what this is going to look like. And then we went down there and like, we got 29th. We didn't get last place. The girls showed that they can do it and that they can compete at the national stage. So like it's mind-boggling that this is year 1.
Yeah.
And like so many coaches, so many athletes like across like the state have like reached out and like it was like so proud and like excited to see where we go. And they're asking the same thing. They're like, what's next? And we're like, we're going to regroup. We're going to figure out, we're going to learn our new routine in June. And we have tryouts in April. We'll learn our new competition routine in June and we'll just start working. And well, obviously the goal is to do the same thing all over again. Our goal is to qualify for state. Our goal is to hopefully become state champs at some point. Hopefully, improve from that 5th place in our game day to hopefully a little higher for us. And then hopefully qualify for nationals and get a higher placement next year. So like the goal's still the same, but as far as like the competition side of it, but ultimately my goal for them is just to get that sense of teamwork and that sense of belonging and that sense of competition in their own selves to where they are being driven to push for each other and for their teammates and just work hard for each other, because those are skills that they will possess and learn beyond cheerleading and beyond high school. Like those are skills that they'll forever need. So like them working for that and becoming a team and working for each other, I couldn't ask for more than that.
Well, Coach Owen, thank you for taking the time. And I'm sure the work for next year starts for you probably in about a month. So good luck on next year's stuff.
Yeah.
And thanks for taking the time. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Brenda Langowski, the head cheer coach at Plymouth High School. And Hannah Croy joins me, the coach of the Culver cheer team, who just this week got back from the national tournament, I guess they call it, right?
Yes, yep, the National High School Cheerleading Championship. So we're Division II, so we went with the smaller schools. The larger schools are going this weekend.
Talk about that experience. I mean, competitive cheer, to me, I'm not used to a lot of teams. I don't understand it very well. So maybe walk us through what is entailed in this.
Yeah, absolutely. So we compete small varsity non-tumbling game day. So what that entails is a band chant, and then we do a offense or defense cheer, which the announcer will call either an offense or a defense call like they would during a football game. And then our girls have to respond with the correct cheer. Then we go into just a crowd leading cheer, and then we end with a fight song. So our whole routine is about 3 minutes. We're in the small varsity, there's medium, large varsity, it just kind of all depends on the amount of girls that you have on the mat. And then that is the division that we compete in. And then we've done that. This is our 3rd year competing. So this was the first year that when I took over coaching, I said, these girls are going to compete and we're going to make it to Disney one day. And I don't think anyone believed me. I didn't believe myself, but here we are. So we did it. So.
And I'm sure that takes an enormous amount of time and work and preparation. I mean, you guys cheer all year long for all the sports,
Yes.
but I mean, I'm sure you have a summer schedule too.
Yes. Yep. So we usually start in June. This past year, I had our 3rd and 4th. We had twins back in February. So we kind of started a little later this year in July. But we usually start in June, and then we had our choreography this year. We went to camp, had our choreography in July, and then we've been cleaning this routine since then. So we do smaller competitions here. We go to Indy a couple times. We go to Northwood, Lake Central. Last year we hosted our own competition. We did not do that this year, but so we kind of do the smaller ones, and then the large one is the Hoosier Regional, which is in Indianapolis, and that is where all the teams from the state that want a chance to get to nationals go, and then that is where you get your bid to move on. So
Talk about the process of this, because I mean you cheer for a whole game. Surely you don't have a routine that lasts that long, but do you incorporate that into what you do, like say during a football or basketball game?
Yes, so we actually use a lot of the games as practices.
Oh,
So we will kind of take little snippets of the routine and say we're on defense, and I'll say, okay, let's do our defense chant. So that will kind of help us clean up that section of the routine. We did a couple halftime performances this year during basketball of our full routine just to get those practices in front of the crowd. But yes, I do take those. Any stunts that we have incorporated in there, we kind of use those games as practices just to clean them up more, get more repetitions in, and kind of make those the best that they can be.
well, I'm sure it helps to have an audience too, because you get that feedback
Oh
right away.
yes, yes, yep. And I don't think anything could have prepared the girls for nothing could prepare me. Everyone tried to prepare us for what nationals was going to be like. And we were all so overwhelmed with it. Nothing could have prepared us, but being able to do those things in front of an audience definitely helped settle some of those nerves.
When you talked about choreography too, I mean, do you develop that or do you have somebody that helps you?
Nope. So we actually hired choreography. This past year we used Queen Bee Choreography. She's out of Ohio. She does a lot of cheer teams kind of in the eastern part of Indiana and then all over Ohio. And so I found her, I think it was either Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or one of those. I was on the cheer page and just kind of moving around and saw a lot of her things and reached out to her. So she did our full routine for us and came in July, taught us that routine, and we just worked all winter and summer and spring and fall and just kind of been focusing on that and cleaning that up. And so we've kind of added a little things here and there of our own, but the main routine she did.
And I got to believe that she, that's a hard job coming in and learning, because I'm sure she tailored that to the strengths of your team.
Yes. Yes. Yep. I had a whole bunch of paperwork to fill out at the beginning. She needed to know tumbling. She needed to know stunt groups. Oh yeah. There was a lot of paperwork that I didn't know was in there. Cause she also, she tailors each routine to each team and each team has different skill sets. And yeah, so it was tailored to us with the Culver Cavs, the orange and black. And so, yep, it was tailored directly to us and our school, which was great.
Talk about the skill sets needed too. I mean, you're a smaller school. I imagine there's different levels of it too. Tumbling, or I heard flyers and stuff like that. I don't know
Yes,
the
yeah.
terminology and stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a different skill set with the smaller schools and maybe with some of the bigger teams.
Yes, well, we all go off the same score sheets.
Okay.
So with a game day, with the NFHS, there are different rules on what we can do, what we're allowed to do on certain surfaces. So on basketball courts, we're not allowed to throw high release stunts, because if a girl falls from 12 feet in the air onto a basketball court, it could cause some issues.
Yeah.
So there's all these rules that we do have to follow. And for the game day, we're only allowed to go up to an extension. And there's certain dismounts we can do, but we just go straight up, straight down. We have found the last couple of years with competing, simple and clean is better than difficult and messy.
Yeah.
So we just try to keep the things really clean, and we compete non-tumbling. I have brought in Emmy Christian, who is a tumbling coach here in the area, to the school, and she has helped my girls kind of learn some of those tumbling basics and things. Which has helped quite a bit, but we do not have a lot of tumblers on the team, so we don't compete with tumbling. But I would love to see the girls do that, but that is a whole different time commitment and skill set, and I can barely do a cartwheel, so that's something I cannot teach them.
Well, let's talk about the skill set. I'm sure there's a certain thing you're looking for, and I'm assuming that, so far as cheerleading, maybe even mentality comes into it.
Oh yes, yep. So you have to be able to perform. So I only cheered in like 5th and 6th grade, and then I did a lot of dance and performing in high school, and so I've kind of taken that into. I went to Warsaw, which was a lot larger than Culver.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to Culver, there wasn't a dance team and there wasn't all these extra things. So cheer was the closest thing. And I was like, well, I know how to, we can do the performance. That's fine. So a lot of it is how can you engage the crowd? How can you basically lead? How can you lead the cheers? That's literally what it is. And so it's all the facial expressions. It's being loud. It's having the attitude. And I don't want to say the sass, but the sass to kind of get that crowd engaged and be able to have those cheers that the crowd's interacting with and calling back, and the students are interacting with to hype up the team on the floor. So that's a lot of what I look for. Obviously, it's can you dance? Can you keep time? Can you kick? Can you hit your motions? So there's a lot of little moving parts that go into it that I don't think people realize, that I didn't even really realize until I got into it. But yeah.
Talk about your girls a little bit. I'm sure you got some outstanding performers and things. I mean, give a shout out to some of your cheerleaders.
Yes, yeah. So we have, I have 12 on the team, right, on our competition team. So we have 3 separate teams. We have a football sideline, basketball sideline, competition. And then they all kind of run, especially towards the end of football, beginning of basketball, we're running simultaneously. It gets very crazy for a while. But yep, I have 12 girls. I have one 8th grader, Lane, who is allowed to compete with us for UCA, which is who we compete with for nationals. And so she's just now starting out. She did fabulous this year, especially coming in as an 8th grader, obviously being the youngest one on the team. And then we go all the way up to senior, and I have 3 foreign exchange students this year who have never cheered before. I have one who did a lot of tumbling and gymnastics, and she knew how to perform, but the other 2 did not. And so they have done phenomenal. And so they did great. We've got a couple juniors. I don't have any freshmen this year, and a couple sophomores. So a lot of these girls I've had for the last couple of years. And I would say Madeline's a great performer. Selena's a great performer. They all have their individual strengths,
Right.
and they've all grown so much. I'm like, they are not the team they were a couple years ago. So I'm very, very proud of them with that, and proud to have a lot of the same girls on the team. And we've all kind of grown together the last couple of years.
I'm going to assume as basketball starts to wind down, it gets a little slower, but at the same time, for you, I imagine you're already starting next year.
Yes, so I am actually stepping down from coaching for next
okay.
year. Yes, it was a very, very difficult decision. But I have 4 kids under 4, and it was a difficult year this year. I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep everything juggled, and with our last 2 being twins, and they're getting ready to be a year old, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I'm hoping to still stay on as like a volunteer and still help out. I just don't have the time to commit.
Right.
So I'm hoping that the next coach will continue this, and then I can kind of be a part of it, behind the scenes if they would want that or whatever. But on a normal year, yes, basketball season winds down, and I am already, like, choreography would already be scheduled. We would already have camp scheduled. All of that stuff, and for the next year would definitely be on the books already. It is a year-round thing.
Have they started a search for a new coach?
I don't believe so. I just turned in my resignation this week.
Oh, okay.
Just because we're going to finish out basketball season, and we have a couple more games here. We have senior night coming up on the 27th for the boys, and then sectionals right after that, girls sectionals this week. So as that kind of winds down, and then hopefully we'll be able to, they'll find a new coach soon, and then I feel like I'm handing my baby over, and it was a very emotional resignation, and I'm like I hope I find the right parents for this baby, and that's what I feel like.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we get someone in here that can continue what we've been growing the last couple of years. That's my dream. So.
Well, you don't put that much time into something and not have it mean something. I mean, it'd be worse if
Right,
it wasn't
right, yep.
emotional.
Yes, yeah, I would. Yes, we kind of got an "Are you sure?" type thing, and I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, it was quite an emotional resignation, but it's what's best for my family. So I can't be the coach I want to be and the mom I want to be at the same
Yeah.
time, and so with our kids getting into stuff, and it's a lot, especially with 4 little ones. So.
Yeah, I know I know that feeling. I had 4 boys that were all under the age of 6.
Oh wow,
So,
yeah.
Fortunately, I know boys. Everybody thinks it's a horror show, but fortunately, my boys had a way of beating each other up that didn't make much noise. So it was all under
I have 3
wraps.
boys. I have 3 boys and a girl, and I'm hoping the boys do that because, yeah, yes, they're a lot right now.
Once they learn you get upset when you know they're beating each other up, they stay quiet.
Hey, that works. That works. Quiet can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. So.
Yeah, you'll get to learn the your new name is Hey Ref, so that'll be
Yes.
that'll
Yeah.
be fun.
Yep.
Well, good. I'm not glad you're leaving, but I'm glad that your family's going to be happy to have you, and I'm sure that you're going to be welcome to come back at some point. And congratulations on a great season.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. And I was talking to my husband and I said, I'm pretty sure I'm probably the first cheer coach they've ever had on the coach's corner. So I appreciate the opportunity. That was pretty awesome.
It's not a problem. I'm not used to having competitive cheer around, so that
Yeah, I believe us in Plymouth
Yeah.
that I know of are
Yeah.
the only area schools. South Central might kind of be dabbling in it, but I know us in Plymouth for sure. So
well, not a spoiler alert, but I'm talking to Brenna tomorrow, so I'm gonna have
perfect. Yep,
I'm
because
gonna
they just
have
got back too.
gonna have both of you on the same show. We're gonna go cheer heavy for Saturday morning.
Hey, we made school history going for the first time, and so did they. It's a great thing for Marshall County. So
Yes, it is, and thanks for taking the time and joining me, and good luck to you in your future.
yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It's Anna Croy, the current head cheer coach at Culver. We'll be right back. And in this segment of the Coaches Show, we're welcoming in Michaela Shalio with us. I know the season came to a close, but I always like to get with coaches one last time to kind of talk about it and, reassess it and give them a chance to say thanks to folks, because I know there's a lot of people behind the scenes and even especially your team that you want to say thank you to and go over. So why don't we start with the fact that, we talked about the last time. The one thing I think that your girls take away from this year is how to surmount adversity and win. I mean, they had a lot of adversity through the course of the year, a young bunch, and they found a way to still win games.
Yeah, I'm just incredibly proud of their grit, their toughness, their togetherness. I'm not sure, what people's thoughts or opinions were heading into this season. And, we talked as a staff before the season. Just we knew that we'd be able to surprise some teams. But boy, oh boy, did they impress us with their ability to just not quit. They're a group of fighters. They're tough, no matter what challenge they face. That's going to follow them through life. So I'm incredibly proud of this group. They've grown so much throughout the year. Early on in the year, we didn't really know how to follow a scouting report. We were immature in those ways, and beginning of the season, that was a big struggle for us. And then you look at our game against Wawasee and the growth that just in that alone of following a scouting report, playing personnel, understanding the keys of the game, to be able to give ourselves chances to win. Like they've matured in so many ways. Their effort in practice, just all the things. And it was things that they had to learn just because of how young that they were. But we were able to learn it together, and it truly was a great season with these girls.
I'm going to be honest with you. When it started, I thought you'd be okay later in the year. But looking at how many freshmen and sophomores you were going to be playing on a regular basis, that is very tough, especially when you're playing the kind of schedule you play. You don't get a night off in 23 games or however many it is.
Yep. Shoot, I didn't realize how many freshmen we'd be playing either at the start of the year. But, that's good because you're going to reward players that meet expectations. And even if they're a surprise, like we're going to put people on the court that are giving us a chance to win. And, that freshman class, they're a talented group. And they just want to give it all out on the court and give us a chance to win.
You brought up one part of it, too. I mean, it's something I never even thought about, but, you don't get a scouting report in junior high. You don't get a scouting report on the JV team. That's when things get serious at that varsity level, and I think the tendency would be to say, it's just another piece of paper, especially when you don't realize what that's telling you.
Yeah, I think just the level of intensity, focus, speed, physicality, all of the things from every level, 8th grade to JV to varsity. Some of our girls jump straight from 8th grade to the varsity. Like that's a huge challenge. And we had some floaters last year who were returners this year that had some experience, following a scouting report, but not a ton. who like truly saw significant game minutes last year. So just that growth alone, I'm incredibly proud of them.
Let's talk about something else I don't think people talk about a lot too, in the length of the season, and especially junior high girls have been done playing for weeks. You guys have been playing much longer than that. It's fascinating to me that your girls got better and stronger at the end. A lot of young players, they get to the end of the season, it's like, wow, we never had to play this long before, and
Right.
adjusting to
Yeah.
that.
And you're bringing up, a good point. Something that we've honestly struggled with the past couple of seasons is, getting them excited for the second half of the season, coming back after Christmas break. That's been a challenge. And that was something that I was worried about with this group, just being as young as they are, knowing that basketball is the longest, season, and it's double the amount of time as a middle school season. But I think it just, is a testament to these girls and their desire to get better, their desire to just truly be competitors in life. They were always up for that challenge, and we did get better as the year progressed, and it's because of the work ethic that they put in every single day and the things that they were learning every single day. They didn't just show up; they showed up to get better.
And I think they did. And I think that, you've got a lot. Well, let's just start talking about some of them. I want to ask a question, though. I mean, and I thought about it in that game against St. Joe. I mean, you were with them all the way through it. How much difference?
Yeah.
How much difference would Peyton Ellinger have made if she'd been able to be on the floor? Because, she gave you a lot of great minutes and a lot of great play over the year, and then
Did.
suddenly not having her there had to have had an impact.
Yep. Yeah, and she had a great game. First time we played St. Joe, just helped us initiate points in the paint early. And we missed quite a few bunnies in the paint. Second time we played St. Joe, and that whole game felt within reach. So Peyton being out definitely, hurt us. But I'm proud of her for wanting to be there for the girls. It's tough to go down with a season-ending injury, and she had a concussion her freshman year too. So just that alone, that's hard to fight. But she wanted to be there to finish out the year with her teammates. So I'm incredibly proud of her for that. We absolutely missed her on the court, but we had girls step up and be ready, and I'm proud of them for that.
And then, of course, your upperclassman, another junior, Olivia. I mean, the things she provided. There were times when she kept you in games where the shooting, played solid defense. I mean, she contributed a lot.
Yeah, one thing with Liv that I think is, her biggest growth is her aggression to the rim as it progressed throughout the season. Just getting her to understand how much of an impact that she does have on the floor, and her aggression will be matched by her teammates. And she met that challenge. It was always something, Liv, attack the rim, Liv, take that open three. Like, she needs that, and that's okay. But she did that for us this year, and we're really proud of Liv. And just her growth throughout the season. Excited for what she does her senior year.
You got a bunch of sophomores that are going to be really, really well. Lydia obviously is going to move on. Her family moving to Ohio, I believe it is.
Yep.
But Chloe, I mean, to watch her growth as a player really was interesting. The way you count on her for scoring, but when she's number one on the scouting report, sometimes she's not getting any looks. She found other ways
Right.
to really be an impact player.
Right. And that's something that we talk to all of our girls about. Whatever you do that well, and if you are struggling with that, find other ways to contribute to the game. And Chloe led us in rebounds, and she does a great job of anticipating the ball as a second layer defender, aggressive on the glass, giving us extra possessions, limiting teams to extra possessions. Her toughness is there, and I'm excited for the growth that she'll see in the off season. Just truly getting a season now to understand that she is number one on the scouting report, and a lot of work goes into that. So finding different ways, finishing inside the paint, making things easier, when we're successful in the paint to get open looks along the 3-point line. she got hot there in the third quarter of the St. Joe game, and that was exciting to see.
And then you got Naomi Peacock, who spent a lot of time playing JV, but she's going to give quality minutes to the pro. Paige Frank, what did we talk about earlier? I said get her in the weight room, and she's going to be something else. When she gets stronger, she gets older, she's going to be a heck of a player too.
And that's something that she understands and that she's already investing in. She's been doing weights with Latinsky in his garage, his barbell club, since she was an 8th grader. So I appreciate that. I appreciate, she recognizes that, and sky's the limit for her because we don't have a lot of kids with length, and she has that. So she'll be able to impact the game in a lot of ways. And for her too, it's just confidence when she's on the court. But she's a heck of a player. She did a great job of valuing the basketball this year. I'm really proud of Paige's growth.
We talked about your freshmen a lot. You had a couple that they didn't play like freshmen. They didn't look like freshmen physically. The way they played physically was not like a normal freshman. And Brooklyn Scruggs and Hayden Shipley, I mean, they became a huge part of everything you were doing.
Yep. We talked about the difference of speed and physicality from 8th grade to JV to varsity. And just watching them play when they were younger, they had that speed, they had that aggression, they had that physicality. So we knew that they'd be able to impact the game. I didn't know that they'd impact it the way that they did this year, but man, they're fighters, they're competitors, they're going to do anything it takes to win. And that, it rose the level of competition in practice every single day, because if a freshman's bringing it, other people are going to match that. And I am incredibly proud of both of those girls. Brooklyn started out the year playing JV, and just dressing varsity. Talk about a girl who's just going to put her head to work and let her work speak for itself. Like, there was no begging from her about playing time. She was just someone who was constant in her work, in her production. And that's that she was spending extra time in the gym, and it showed.
And then, you got a couple other freshmen. I mean, Ella got some playing time. She was impressive when she came on the floor and gave you minutes.
She's strong. She's so strong.
Yeah.
It's great to hear other coaches compliment Davis, just because of how she can impact the game. And she may be the smallest post player that anyone will call a game for, but she's not going to let them feel that. I love Davis. I love her heart. I love her work. She's a special kid and will continue to impact the game in many, many ways.
And then Hanley, I know she played all JV and not a lot of minutes, but watching her play JV, she's going to be a really good player if she continues to improve the way it looks like she can.
Hanley does anything, that we need her to do. And that she's a coach's type kid, right?
Yeah.
Who she's willing to be on scout prep team. She's willing to be a leader in a JV practice. She's willing to step up when her number's called in a varsity game and play key minutes and contribute. And that just goes to who she is, and who her family, are. You can tell that, Hanley is just a great kid, cares a lot about her teammates, wants her teammates to excel, and she knows that she's got to take on that leadership role, and she did. It was nice to, see her voice develop as the year went on, and from us as coaches, hey, coach, I'm really worried about player X. Like, how can I, come and talk to them about X, Y, or Z? And that's just, something that's uncommon for a freshman. But I'm really, really proud of Hanley, and the sky's the limit for her as well.
Well, we get to the hard part of this. I'm just going to let you talk because, you told me yesterday that you have turned in your resignation, and that you're going to be wanting to spend more time with family. I mean, what went into that decision? I mean, how did you get there?
I'm going to try to speak as best as I can. But, I try my best to lead in love and to lead in faith. Um, and I need to model that. Over Christmas break, my daycare was shut down for a week just so they could get more family time. So I was able to bring Maya in to practice, and then had all that extra, time with her. And there's a lot of things that I pray for, but praying about whether or not I would return next year was not something that I was praying about at all, and not something that I would want. We just highlighted all these girls that are coming back next year, and arguably the strongest group that we will have coming up in our 8th grade class and 7th grade class, like all these girls who are investing in basketball. But truly just felt peace that would only come from the Lord, just truly telling me, it's time that I need to step away to spend more time with Maya. Um, like, I had her, and I came to the gym the next day
Yeah.
and coached in that senior night game. Um, she's been through a lot. Just, she enjoys the girls. She enjoys coming, but it's really hard leaving her on a Saturday morning shoot around. No, mommy, don't go.
Yeah.
Um, Watching her sleep on a camera for an away game, like that's challenging. And so, if I'm gonna lead in love and lead in faith, like I told my coaching staff, and I tried to explain it to the girls, if a human were to look at this decision, they would think that it's incredibly, silly, maybe irrational, because of who we do have coming back and who they are as people and how much I enjoy being around them and just being able to do the day-to-day life with them. And was really excited about our 8th grade group as well. Like, they would just argue it. And but I'm gonna lead in love and lead in faith, and if God's telling me to do something, even if I may not be happy about it, I can't ignore that, nor would I want my players to ignore his voice. So I need to be a role model with that, and lead in those ways. I don't know what the future looks like, but man, I'm gonna miss it. But I'm also extremely excited for the extra time with my family.
I think that's something that most people that are on the outside looking in don't think about, or it never occurs to them. I remember, it's funny you say the Saturday thing with your daughter. When my dad would have to go to the radio show, he felt like he was a bad dad because he wasn't at home Saturday morning with his kids. Now I never minded because he always brought home donuts afterwards, so we were okay with that. But I think that well, my opinion doesn't matter any, but in my mind, you're leading your girls in a way that they're all going to have decisions like this to make in their lives, and you're giving them an example of how to make that decision. And I feel like, if nothing else, you're leaving the program with one last gift.
I appreciate that, Rusty. They're a special group, and whoever gets them is going to be incredibly blessed. And I tried to, really explain it to the girls. Even though I'm stepping away, that doesn't mean like the relationship stop. My investment in them stops. They'll still be on the sidelines, not on the sidelines, in the stands, and watching from home when I can't be there in the stands. And I'll be able to have my family there with me. One reason why I took this job was because I wanted to be a role model to high school girls in how to be a great wife, a great mom, and you can do those things, but also still be a girl boss as well. And so I hope that that's a little bit that they can take away. And I try to tell them that me stepping away isn't, showing them that they can't take on a leadership role, like a head basketball coach or, whatever it may be. but I'm also making sure that I'm going to, lead in the fact that I'm going to listen to the Lord. And I hope that's one thing that they'll be able to take away from me as well.
Well, I remember sending the text, you want to go on the air one last time. I didn't realize it was literally going to be one last time, but honestly, you'll be back. It's in, we talked about it
Yep.
off the air. It's in your blood. You'll be back at some point when it's right. But once again, you made the decision, allowed yourself to be led, and someday you'll get led back where you need to be.
Amen. I appreciate you, Rusty, man. You have been such an encouragement, such a support to me, to our program. The way that you care and cover these girls, they don't even know. But I appreciate it. Your work doesn't go unnoticed. Your heart doesn't go unnoticed. I appreciate the way that you care for Plymouth Athletics, and I am looking forward to listening to you more on the radio now.
You're going to be the only one.
Shoot, I may call a game with you one day here.
Well, I was going to give you some time before I hit you up on that one, but yeah, okay, that'll be on the horizon. And thanks for all
Perfect.
everything you've done for me. You made my job extremely easy, and I appreciate
I
that.
appreciate you.
So,
Yep.
that is Michaela Shalio, and now the mom of Maya, and we'll be back in just a second. And Emma Kincaid joins me, the winner of this week's Tony the Boss Ross Athlete of the Week award. Congratulations on that, but more congratulations on 1,000 points. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, thanks.
Talk about that a little bit. I mean, that's not the kind of a milestone that just sneaks up on you. I mean, you knew it was coming at some point. Did that affect you at all the way you thought? Or, I mean, as it was getting close, did it get into your mind or anything like that as you were playing?
I really tried not to think about it too much. I knew it was coming up and could be a possibility, but I wasn't trying to let that affect me. So I was just still playing the game, and just when it came, and if not, it was okay.
Let's talk about that whole idea of that goal. I mean, was that ever a goal? Was that ever anything that was in your vision when you started playing ball?
I believe so. I remember in 8th grade when we had to write these goals or something, and I'm pretty sure I put that down as one of my goals. Just I did the math or something, and I was like, this seems possible. I could do this. And so just actually reaching that is kind of really cool.
And let's put this in perspective for folks. I mean, you're only the 8th girl who's done that in the history of Bremen girls basketball, which is one of the, I mean, honestly, it's one of the great programs in Northern Indiana for the last few decades.
Yeah, there's not been many, but
how does that feel to be part of that group?
it feels pretty cool, but also it's just really cool because my friends are on that, so I just get to be able to experience that with them. Eliana, she just got hers, and then Kyla got it last year, so just being able to support them through it too has been really fun.
Talk about your teammates. I mean, I've heard from Eliana a couple of weeks ago, and we had her on. I know you guys are close. I know you all of you played together for a long time. Do you think that helped you all the way through? Because you guys have been together for a long time.
I would say, yeah, it definitely helps because I've been friends with Eliana and even Emma for the longest time, as long as I can remember. We grew up playing basketball together. So just that chemistry on the court, and then just knowing we have each other's back and everything, on and off the court, it's a great feeling to have.
I'm going to tell you this, having seen you guys play, I knew as you were coming up that the three of you, Emma Lawmaster, we'll throw her name in there too because she's been outstanding. Having watched you guys play through the years, I thought you were really going to have a great year this year. But man, it's almost like you're one unit, the three of you together. It's kind of really wild and fun and interesting to watch the three of you guys play together. I've never seen too many times anything like that.
Yeah, we work really well together. It's really fun.
What do you think is the strongest part of your game?
Um, for me, I'd say that like I'm willing to do like the hustle stuff. Like it's not always noticed or anything, but I'm a big encourager for my teammates and I like to bring energy to like practices and games. So I'd like to say I'm a pretty good teammate.
Talk about your teammates too. I mean, nobody gets to where you're at without them. I mean, give them a shout out. You've played with
Oh
Eliana
yeah.
for a long time. I mean, Emma for a long time. I mean, you got a lot of really good teammates there.
No, I play with like the most unselfish teammates like I think I've ever met. Like we're not caring about like ourselves. Like we just genuinely care about each other and we care about like our team. So to have that just like unselfish players, like to be surrounded by that is it's really nice. It just benefits the whole team.
Do you think it makes it easier?
Yeah, because it kind of takes pressure off and you're just enjoying the moment and having fun.
Let's talk about your goals. I mean, all this started in my mind. You guys were part of that run a couple of years ago, where the semi-state run, and last year I think that was a little disappointing. I'm sure because I felt covering the game, and I'm sure you guys felt like we probably should have won that one and gone on. But I mean, it seems to me like you guys are playing with a chip on your shoulder and a mission in mind. Am I right?
No, yeah, you're exactly right on that. We've set goals since the beginning and we're eager to get after them this year.
I'm going to say too. I mean, the other night, Laville, I thought they had or that's been like a week ago now, but I thought they had a good game plan to attack you guys, and they were having some success early. But the thing I've noticed about you guys when I see you play, even when things aren't going well, just judging from the body language, it just doesn't seem to bother you guys. Am I right about that, or am I just reading something
Yeah.
I'm not seeing?
No, we're a pretty like calm team. We don't show like much emotion on the court. We like to stay calm and like even when things aren't going our way necessarily, like we like know there's a lot more to the game and like there's time left. And so we just like continue working and doing the things we need to do and just trusting that.
Let's talk about your goals for the season. I mean, I'm not expecting you to make predictions or anything like that, but I mean, you got a tough one. Well, you had a tough one. We're going to be playing this on Saturday, so you either won or lost on Friday night. But I mean, what is the vision of you and your team as you go through? I mean, is it really the one game at a time thing, or I mean, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'd say we really are trying to just think of it as one game at a time because we don't want to get overconfident or just like looking too far ahead where we like pass a team because like that's when they can
Yeah.
attack you the most is when like not even thinking about them. So I mean we are looking a little bit like ahead too, like we're keeping an eye on Bitco and stuff, but we also just like are really trying to focus on sectionals first right now.
Let's talk about you for a little bit. Are you a multi-sport athlete like everybody at Bremen seems to be?
Yes, I play volleyball and I run track too.
I knew you were track. You've had a lot of success in track as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which of the three do you like best?
Basketball's still my favorite. It's my love.
When did you start playing basketball? Was it a young age?
Oh yeah, I did like vertical basketball ever since I was like really
Oh,
little.
okay. Yeah.
So I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I know the program. It's a good program. Did you enjoy going through that?
Yeah, I enjoyed it because it was like through my church, so
Yeah.
you had like also like little that and stuff.
Where was the point in that progression where you thought, I might be pretty good at this?
I guess I just had the drive for like hard work. Like I don't think there's ever really like one moment where I was like, wow, I think I'm like talented at this or anything. But I just like have continually put in like the work in the off season when like nobody's really paying attention just to really get where I'm at now.
Well, I can understand that if you run track and you also play volleyball, the grind is part of your life, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about school. You got a favorite subject?
Favorite subject?
Yeah, favorite subject.
I don't really have a favorite subject. I'm decent at math. I'm starting to enjoy English more just because my teachers make it fun. But
Why?
yeah,
Why are you guys all math guys? I can't add
I,
2 and 2.
I don't know. It just like makes sense to me. Like there's a right and a wrong.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly fine. But look at me. I make my living just by talking all the time. So little different mindset. Yeah, I'm sure you've thought about the future. Well, first of all, let's talk about your family. I know you have brothers and sisters and mom and dad. Let's get their names on there.
Okay, so mom and dad, Kim and Travis Kincaid, and then I have a younger sister, Kate. She's my best friend, even though we don't always get along. And then I have an older brother, Luke, and then also a younger brother, Jack, and that's Jack and Kate are twins.
And I gotta believe that they're all athletes.
Oh yeah, we compete a lot.
I was just going to say. I mean, is the last biscuit at the table a fight, or I mean, I'm sure you guys have gone at it in the court on the
Yeah.
in the driveway once or twice.
Oh yeah, everything's like an argument or competition with us.
Have you thought about the future at all? I mean, I'm sure you're probably thinking about going to college. Maybe not. A lot of guys and girls don't do that anymore. But I mean, what are your thoughts about what you want to do when you're done with high school?
So actually, I'm going to Indiana Wesleyan
Oh,
I'm play basketball and run track there, but I'm also going to major in elementary education.
mm.
So that's kind of what I'm planning on doing next year.
So you want to be a teacher?
Yes.
Do you have any teachers in your family, or will you be the first?
My mom was actually a teacher,
Oh.
so I loved watching her do that and everything. She did that for the longest time.
She'll
Anyhow.
be able to help you a lot. I come from a family of teachers, and it's a
Oh
calling.
yeah.
It's a calling. It's not a job. It's a special profession.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I want to thank you for taking time to get to know us a little bit here, and good luck to you as you go through. I will be at your game Friday, and if you're able to move on, we'll be there Saturday too. And good luck to you, and I'm sure we'll run into each other in the future.
Yes, thank you for this.
Emma Kincaid, our Tony the Boss Ross Athlete of the Week. And it's time to announce this week's Tony the Boss Ross Athlete of the Week, given in honor of our colleague Tony Ross, longtime broadcaster in Marshall County and for Max 98.3, who died suddenly a year ago. And the legacy he left of unending dedication to his craft, his work ethic, and especially his devotion to the athletes and coaches in the area is never going to be matched. That's a legacy we try to honor this week with this award. And we'll tell you who that winner is right after this word from Johnson Danielson Funeral Home.
Johnson Danielson Funeral Home has been established in the community of Plymouth since 1879, and its staff is committed to providing care that goes beyond the expected in serving today's families who call Marshall County their home. They welcome families seeking options and alternative ways to pay tribute to someone, from burial packages to pre-planning to planning a checklist. The professionals, along with caring staff at Johnson Danielson, are available to assist your family 24 hours a day by simply calling 574-936-2829. Visit their website at johnsondanielson.com for a complete list of services. Johnson Danielson Funeral Home. Service beyond expectation.
And this week, it is senior Hayden Lute of Culver, swimmer, won conference and 2 swimming events, broke both conference records in those events, the 500 and 200 freestyle. And so that is our Tony the Boss Ross Athlete of the Week, Hayden Lute, swimmer at Culver Community High School. Hayden will see Mom spent all that money on reading lessons. Hayden will receive a certificate, a history of the. It's Saturday morning. Give me a break. History of the award and a T-shirt commemorating the achievement, and will also be a future guest, hopefully next week on the Saturday Morning Coaches Show. Hayden will be eligible for our Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 Athlete of the Year Award later this year. It carries with it a plaque, a college scholarship, compliments of Max 98.3, and Johnson Danielson Funeral Home. It's the Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Johnson Danielson Funeral Home. Let's take a look at a programming note or two for next week. We're going to go all the way to Wednesday without basketball. Got to be honest, I could use a day or two off from the round ball. It's been a long couple of weeks with Bi-County girls sectional. It's just one of those years. So Wednesday, we will be at the Liveplex, and Lansing will be taking on Ancilla in a men's women's doubleheader. We'll start with the tip-off at 5:30, 5 o'clock, our start on Wednesday. It'll be Ancilla versus Lansing. Thursday, I was going to have sound effects queued up. It's the Bell game. You know that. If you're in Argus or Culver, the Bell game. And it's going to be Argus versus Culver. It's going to be at Argus. We'll have that for you as well. And Hayden Skirvin will join me for the play-by-play call there. 7 o'clock, the start of our broadcast, 7:30 tip-off. And then on Saturday, we will be at the Liveplex again as Grand Rapids Community College comes to town to take on the Ancilla Chargers. Men's, women's doubleheader. It starts at 1. Our pregame starts at 12:30, and we'll have that for you as well. So 3 days, Wednesday and Saturday, Ancilla basketball. Thursday, the Bell game, Argus versus Culver, here on Max 98.3. It's going to do it for the Saturday Morning Coaches Show. Thanks for listening, and have yourselves a great weekend. Don't forget, tonight, LaVille High School, Bremen takes on Winnemac. Should be a great game. We'll be there. Peyton Skirvin, once again, will join me. Hayden's his brother. Family members. It just gets all mixed together in my mind. Peyton Skirvin will join me. Our pregame will start at 6:30 and our tip-off at 7 o'clock. Championship action at LaVille High School. It'll be the Bremen Lady Lions against the Winnemac Lady Warriors. And that's your Saturday Morning Coaches Show. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you tonight.